From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, December the 17th, 2020. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party and Defense Minister and alternate Prime Minister Benny Gantz's Blue and White are both denying reports today that a deal may have been reached to avert the collapse of the Knesset and early elections in Israel. Israel's Channel 13 cited an unnamed source in Blue and White who, they said, claims there has been a dramatic breakthrough to reach an agreement before the deadline of this coming Wednesday to pass Israel's state budget. And staying with Gantz, the defense minister gave a rare interview to an Arabic publication. The Times of Israel reports that while not supporting outright a Palestinian state, Gantz told the Saudi daily Al-Sharq Al-Awsat yesterday that the Palestinians want and deserve an entity in which they can live independently. Adding, what we insist on is security. We need strategic observation points for security. When asked about Jerusalem and the possibility of East Jerusalem being a Palestinian capital, Gantz said Jerusalem must remain united. But he added, with a place within it for a Palestinian capital, adding that Jerusalem is a very spacious city and full of holy sites for all. Well, outrage and deep concern in the Jewish world today after the European Union Court of Justice upheld a ban on religious ritual slaughter in Belgium, ruling that authorities can order that animals be stunned before slaughter, which goes against kosher and halal guidelines and impacts the Jewish and Muslim communities, both of whom have warned that such a law could curb religious freedom. The World Jewish Congress agreed, calling the decision discriminatory. They said the court has placed a potentially terminal obstacle to continued Jewish communal life in Europe, arguing that the ruling is not about animal welfare, but about the EU's highest court casting aside the necessary protection of religious minorities. Director of the American Jewish Committee's Transatlantic Institute, Daniel Schwamenthal, wrote that the decision was nothing less than a frontal assault on the basic rights and religious freedoms of Jews and Muslims in Europe. Within living memory of the Holocaust, he wrote, a European court not only bans a core Jewish ritual, but potentially Jewish life altogether in Europe. B'nai B'rith International President Charles Kaufman and CEO Dan Mariashan said the decision violates the fundamental right to freedom of religion and is a blow to Europe's Jewish community. Israel's foreign ministry said the ruling signals to the Jewish communities that they aren't wanted in Europe and that it harms freedom of worship and freedom of religion in Europe, stressing that it is important that a way is found to change the decision and enable Jewish EU citizens to hold Jewish practices. And president of the Coordinating Committee of Belgian Jewish Organizations, Johan Ben-Israel, who also serves as vice president of the World Jewish Congress, called the court's decision undemocratic. Ben-Israel said no democracy can exist when its citizens are denied basic human and civil rights. We plan to pursue all available options to remedy this injustice. The U.S. Senate passed a bipartisan bill yesterday to elevate the position of Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism to that of ambassador. The bill was spearheaded by Nevada Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen, Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio, New York Democrat Kirsten Gillibrand, South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham, New Jersey Democrat Robert Menendez, Colorado Republican Cory Gardner, and Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren. The Jewish Federations of North America thanked the senators for helping to combat anti-Semitism by strengthening the role of the U.S. Special Envoy. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, called it an important step to ensure that our government can better fight rising anti-Semitism around the world. AJC Director of International Jewish Affairs, Rabbi Andrew Baker, said the rank of ambassador will enable the U.S. to enhance our leadership addressing the scourge of anti-Semitism across the globe. Orthodox Union Executive Director for Public Policy Nathan Diamond said, with the passage of this legislation, the Senate is providing powerful new tools to the State Department to lead impactful international efforts to combat what has been aptly called the world's oldest form of hatred. Hadassah said that elevating the role to that of ambassador is a bipartisan priority and will help create a more tolerant world for all. The bill now moves to the House of Representatives for a final vote. The House passed a similar bill last year, so it is believed that the legislation will go through. The leaders of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations urged for that to happen quickly, writing, "The urgency of a collective effort to fight the growing scourge of Jew hatred underscores the need for prompt action." Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, December the 17th at 7 o'clock, it's Talmud study. At 8, the Combat Anti-Semitism 2020 award ceremony includes Special Envoy Elon Carr, as well as Natan Sharansky, artist, jury, and poet Abigail Winokur. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Ken Spiro on L'chaim. At 10, a replay of the 8th candle lighting on the last night of Hanukkah tonight with singer Ron Eliran. At 10:30, it's Israeli mentalist Lior Sushard. And coming up at 6:30, Shachar Azani speaks with Professor Yigal Ben Shalom, who is president of the Association for Yemenite Jewish Culture in Israel. He's devoted his life to preserving the legacy and traditions of the Yemenite Jewish community and keeping its memory alive as a celebration of Jewish diversity, commemorating Jews of Arab lands. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, December the 17th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well, and Chag Sameach.